In this video, we're going to be comparing FSD Beta 8 from the summer of 2021 to the FSD Beta 11.4.7 I'm running on my car today in the summer of 2023. Has the software gotten better? Has it gotten worse? Let's find out in this comparison video. A big thanks to our sponsors, Abacus AI, the world's best end-to-end MLOps and AI platform, and Aerobus Fitness Equipment. Maximal results in minimal time.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Labor Day. Now today I wanted to try something a little special. I was talking to somebody in Spaces yesterday and I said, man, I don't get it. I maybe need to try something different. I think these self-driving videos are too boring. Nobody wants to watch an hour of somebody driving or something like that. People just aren't getting the point of how full self-driving has turned a corner. Even before V12, even on V11, how it now just works for most of the drives. So what I wanted to do is I scrolled back to a couple of years ago, FSD Beta 8 or 9, and I wanted to just record the same exact drive that I recorded then again today with FSD Beta 11.4.7, and then we'll do a comparison between the two. So let's start with the old drive, and then we'll look at the new drive and see how they compare, see what the differences are between the two. Take me to Coit Tower.
Now, the first thing I noticed looking back at this is how jerky the wheel is. It's kind of moving around rather than staying straight, and how hesitant and slow it is to make this right turn. Whereas today, it would never take this long. I mean, man, I really had to have a lot of patience back then to wait for this thing to try and make a simple right turn. Notice how slow the car is driving, a max speed of 15 miles an hour. It looks like it didn't adjust its speed based on the new road it was driving on. Notice the really hard braking for the pedestrian. This used to cause so much discomfort when you were riding in FSD Beta. Any pedestrian appears, it would just slam on the brakes. It would give you a headache by the time you got out of the car, the amount of times it would slam on the brakes in San Francisco. These days, it's much smoother at handling pedestrians and not slamming on the brakes just because it sees one. Now notice the awkward interaction with this pedestrian. It stops because it sees them coming, but stops in front of or in the middle of the crosswalk, creating an awkward situation. I had to press the accelerator to get it to continue. These days, this kind of thing happens much less often with the latest update. Pedestrian handling has dramatically improved. Also on the subject of pedestrian handling, watch how I have to lower down the speed here because I'm concerned about the pedestrians and the dog on the right side of the road. When they pass, I then adjust the speed back up on the scroll wheel. These days, I have to do this a lot less, and it's now common to do entire drives with zero human input, including accelerator presses or scroll wheel changes to the speed. Did you see that rolling stop? Only down to 1 instead of 0. Don't tell Nitsa. This is the one thing this software update actually does better than the current software. Notice how my hand goes up here even though there's no nag on the screen. This just speaks to my lack of confidence in the system at the time. That I couldn't be sure that it wasn't going to hit the car on the left or get too close, and I felt I had to put my hand there. You still need to pay attention today, obviously, but I find that I have a lot more confidence in the system, that a lot more often it'll just do the right thing, and I don't worry as much as I did 2 years ago. Here we got the hands going up again, and oh, there's the first disengagement. The fact that my hands went up ahead of time probably shows that this is something I anticipated. It's probably a problem that happened before, and so my hands went up expecting it to happen again. You know, some people say I don't publish any disengagements, but that's of course not true. I've always published takeovers since the beginning, but it's just that, honestly, these days it's getting harder and harder to find one. Most of the drives now are zero takeover. And honestly, more and more are just zero input where I don't press anything at all. Look at how far away it is from the intersection here. Kind of funny. Looks like it froze and I had to press the accelerator pedal to get it to go. Looks like it's moving into the other lane, and for some reason I'm having to hold the accelerator pedal for a while to get it to go through. I'm not sure why exactly that is, but that's another input. Notice here how I had to adjust the speed down because the set speed was too high. that's it. We made it. Pretty impressive for 2021. Now I have to take over and turn around manually because back then FSD Beta didn't have the capability to turn around at the top of Koi Tower like this. Now we're going to fast forward back to 2023. We're going to take the same exact car, and with just a simple over-the-air software update, you're going to see how the car's abilities are completely transformed. Same exact car, but with the V11 software, it's going to drive so much better. Let's take a look.
All right, let's get started. So I made sure the drive was even around the same time as the previous drive, so we get it as similar as possible. Let's see how it performs. Right off the bat, really smooth right turn. All right, we gotta wait for this pedestrian before we make a left. There's some more people coming. Another guy crossing the street over there. Car makes the left turn very cautiously and safely. Full NHTSA approved stop. That might be a difference between the two versions. I haven't checked the video that closely though, so we'll have to see. There's a Rivian on the right, R1T. There's a Tesla Model 3 on the left. Beautiful Labor Day here today. Perfect weather. Everyone's out, about, they're cycling, they're walking, they're driving. All right, here we go. Now you've got these giant stop signs here. In past versions, it would sometimes get a little confused and stop a little early because the stop signs were abnormally big, but it seems to be handling it pretty smoothly now. Let's see how it handles the next one. Yep, again handling it pretty smoothly. So they seem to have resolved that issue. Proceeding along now. We've got a green light up ahead. I would have gone faster and made it, but the car is just too reasonable of a driver. So I think the previous drive had at least one takeover. So we'll see if we need more takeovers this time, less takeovers, or the same amount. Alright, we got a green light. And another stop sign up ahead. Just a gorgeous day today. Slowing down for a car jumping out into the street, that's great. Look at how that guy stopped compared to how the softer stops. There's a driverless cruise on the left. Not much to remark on the drive, right? I mean, it's not really doing much that's incorrect. This is something it always used to have trouble with before. It would sort of get stuck and pause in that intersection. Okay, now we got a bus that's sticking out into the lane a little bit. It offsets very smoothly, no problem. Okay, we got a yellow light. So far, no complaints, no input even. I haven't touched anything so far. Just turned it on and it did the rest. Lots of people exiting Fort Mason. All right, we got the green arrow. And now I believe we have to make a left up ahead. So both lanes can make a left, I think. We're not getting lucky on lights here today. Looks like there's a bus trying to turn left too. That might pose some challenges. Or I guess not. Interesting. It wants to turn left, but then gave up on that. Alright, so now we have to make a right turn onto Stockton Street in 1 mile. Offsetting nicely for those parked cars. Okay, a little bit of hesitation there before it went on the green. I think it likes to wait and watch and see if, okay, so it's stopping way too far back for that car pulling in. I've noticed that when someone's pulling in or turning around or something, it really stops far back. That's something they need to fix. That's new with this build. But I guess it's better than getting too close and, you know, getting stuck or something. Alright, continuing along now. Now we're approaching the part of the road where I know there was one takeover in the last drive. It was having trouble with these hills. It wasn't able to really see over. And I think I had to take over because of some erratic movement going over this hill. Funny to be looking back at a drive I did a couple of years ago. Alright, no problem this time. Just silky smooth. No need to touch, no need to worry. You'll notice in the old video I was kind of hovering my hands over the wheel because I didn't trust it. This time I knew it would work. Because I've seen it work, you know, thousands of times before. Okay? It was kind of a sharp lane change it attempted, but then decided to abort. It looks like this guy's turning left. So I think the reason it aborted the lane change is because it saw somebody else coming, but they were really far away, so it could have easily made that lane change. Looks like it does have to turn right onto Stockton Street in 0.1 mile, so it better get over quickly. Okay, it's showing that it wants to get over, but it is just speeding up too fast. Okay, now it's hanging back and able to make that lane change. Great. Okay, we got a green light. And here's Stockton Street. We're gonna make a right. There's another Tesla. Okay, we got a tractor in the road. No problem. We're gonna turn left on Lombard Street, which I think is the next street. All right, now we're gonna make a left turn, but it is waiting for some pedestrians that want to cross. Now, personally, I think those pedestrians were quite far away. We could have crossed, but I guess maybe it's just more polite than I am. Maybe they should walk a little faster too. Oh, now there's a car there. Okay, good. We waited for that. Looks like we've got a stopped car up ahead. It's being very cautious, making sure it's clear, and then peeking around. Perfect. Okay, that was good. I don't know if you guys could see it, but there was someone that started walking from my side of the intersection, but they motioned to me to go and the car proceeded very cautiously. That's great. Normally it would get stuck waiting if someone approached at the intersection, but it was actually able to sense that that it was okay. Okay, now here it looks like it is interpreting that as a traffic light, so it was being a little cautious around it. Then I think it realized it wasn't a traffic light or that it was clear to go for whatever reason. Now notice how it's limited the max speed to 17 here. In the past, I would have to probably change down the speed manually to get to a comfortable speed, but now it just does that itself. So just one less thing to touch, one less thing to press. And, you know, I haven't touched anything on this drive. All right, one more stop sign. So there you have it. A drive from a couple of years ago with takeovers and input is now able to be done without touching anything. And this is normal now. Now most of the drives, you don't have to touch anything. Sometimes maybe a little accelerator or something, but to take over is, you know, it's getting very, very rare. All right, now here's a little cherry on top. Let's try going around this roundabout. I think on the video it ended with me manually driving around the roundabout. So let's ask the car to do it. Okay, looks like it's waiting for this pedestrian to pass. Okay, being very skittish here. There are a lot of pedestrians walking around this thing. Okay. Good slowing down for those pedestrians, and boom. Look at that. So I don't even need to do that manual anymore. So there you have it, guys. Same exact drive, 2 years apart. What do you think? Any differences you noticed? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.
So here's the final score. In 2021, FSD required 4 accelerator presses 3 speed adjustments, 1 disengagement, and 1 manual U-turn to be able to complete the drive you saw in this video. In 2023, with FSD Beta 11, the same exact car can do the drive with 0 human input whatsoever, and it can do it much more consistently. From here on, it's just going to get more and more and more reliable until it's 0 human input every single time. I hope this helps illustrate just how much the software is improving and wakes people up to what is happening with FSD.